update. Cool. There we go. Showing way more, aren't we? Hi, it's Diana. Just setting up the video, guys. Ooh, it's a little dark. I'm just trying to get the lighting right. And Facebook, I have an update, so it's changed it now so you can see a longer screen. So that's good. You can see more of what I'm doing here. So I'm just trying to set it up right. Okay, a little dark. Let's see. Okay, we're going to go with that. So this video is about what foods are really healthy and what foods are not, because there's a lot of conflicting information out there. Hi, Leslie. A lot of conflicting information out there, and so it can be confusing. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to hit every single one of them or whatever. It's just, we're going to try to straighten this out a little bit. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about counting calories, weighing food, things like that, right? Because it's just kind of craziness. There's a lot of views on that, and being a past personal trainer, we were really like, the whole counting calorie thing was really in. But why I kind of don't follow that, why I don't believe in it, why my clients don't do it, and certainly they still lose the weight and get the health benefits. So let's talk a bit about the food. Now, what I see is really conflicting is that now our society wants everything so fast, simple, and easy, right? And that the health movement kind of has made things so that you're seeing products come out now that are labeled healthy, that are labeled all natural, that are pre-packaged, all of that thing. Hi, Debbie. And not really to fool us, but to make money, basically, right? To kind of get in on the health thing. And so, but they know that people are really busy and that people don't want to just stay at home and make actually a real meal, actually want to cook all their own food, right? So they think, well, they're so fast. So let's make something that we're going to call healthy, all natural and all this. Let's package it, sell it, and then people will buy it. So what I really want to say is some of that stuff is not as healthy as we think it is. Now, you got to remember that if it has foods like any types of pastas, things like that in it, they don't contain any nutrients. So basically there's no nutrients, there's no food there. They usually are really high on cheaper ingredients. Those things, like they have a lot of cheaper ingredients, and then with just the flours, the starches. So that are the cheaper ingredients, right? And then the more expensive ingredients, right? Like the good vegetables and all that are less in anything, because that way they get more money, more profit, right? So for you, for buying some of those things, what you really got to do is just be aware that real food is real food, and that anything that's packaged and processed, what are the nutrients in that food? What are the nutrients in the food? Do you think that some of these foods actually have nutrients in them? Because the foods that have the nutrients are, of course, the live foods. The broccolis, like here's broccolini, my favorite kind of broccoli. The broccolini, some asparagus, the real foods, right? The real foods. So of course, that these real whole foods, I have some salad cut up here, have the nutrients in them. So what about some of those other things? The yogurts, that's a big one. People ask me a lot, is yogurt okay? Can I continue to have yogurt? The thing about yogurt is, in most cases, it has food coloring. In most cases, it has a lot of sugar. Now, if it's labeled no sugar or low sugar, it probably has a fake sweetener in it, right? A fake sweetener. That's the problem. And definitely contains a lot of fake flavorings. So even though there may be a few blueberries in it, if you look at some blueberry yogurt, often it's like this, the yogurt itself is this bright blue. It's coloring. Often it's coloring because they want you to believe it has lots of blueberries in it. Remember what they cheap out on the real ingredients and add the natural flavors, the natural sweeteners, the natural whatever, to make it appear like you're having still a lot of the real good nutrients, but you're not. So watch the yogurts. The only yogurt I would say I recommend at all, I don't even recommend yogurt because it is dairy, and dairy is highly acidic, and also dairy causes mucus. So having yogurt once every 2 weeks is totally fine. But those people who have it like 2 or 3 times a day, that's too much. So the yogurt, you can get a brand. You can get brands that are like organic, that are plain yogurt, like the plain yogurt. And if you read the ingredients, you just see that they contain those probiotic cultures and all that, and they don't have any fake flavorings because there's nothing in them. So you flavor it yourself, right? You put your own berries and maybe drizzle some honey, drizzle some maple syrup, cut up, chop up some nuts to put in it. That's the way to go. Do not buy those flavored and all that type of yogurts. Danone and all those Activia, when they're labeled the yogurts to help your probiotics in your stomach, and that is just a marketing ploy. There may be just a little tiny bit of probiotic, but probably not enough to really do really good gut health for you. And what I suggest, of course, is taking probiotics. So going to a health food store, getting some really good probiotics. It's always in the cold section, in the fridge section, getting some good quality probiotics and taking those every single day, especially as we age. We need this more and more. We need this more and more. You could take things like digestive bitters too, or digestive enzymes. Where's my digestive bitters? If you've ever, I'm just so tired of swallowing pills. Digestive bitters. Here's right here. And you just put it in your water before you eat something, a little bit of water. And that will also help you digest your food better. So these are some things that can aid in your digestion. Now, getting back to the food. I have a list here. Granola bars and granola. That's another one. Granola bars, power bars, energy bars. Most of them are pretty much crap. Most of them are full of sugar. Even though you think you may be getting the protein because they contain the protein powder often. But they often, just read the ingredients, they have a lot of sugars in them. They have, even if it's dried fruit, like a lot of dates or a lot of raisins, those are very, very high in sugar. That's high concentration of sugar. So you're taking far too much sugar. Now, granola, when you buy it, they use a lot of sweetener in it because like people in the mainstream society love things really sweet. I gotta have a sip on my smoothie. Love things really sweet. So they tend to make it way sweeter than it needs to be. You can make your granola easily, just adding a bit of drizzled honey, a bit of drizzled coconut oil, baking it in the oven, using whole oats, nuts and seeds. Super easy. Don't have to buy it. Takes a few minutes. And the power bars, you can also, I should really do more recipes for those because there's a ton. You just have to use nuts and seeds. You can add your own protein powder. You can add raw cacao if you want. Dates help it to stick together. Coconut oil helps it to stick together. Natural peanut butter, natural tahini helps that stuff stick together. You can use a few oats, but don't get carried away on the oats because they are like high carb, right? And you want to be cutting back a little bit on your starchy carbs or not overeating them. And also remember that those things are high nutrient dense and high calorie dense. So if you make your own protein bars or power bars or truffles and things like that, using the nut butters, the peanut butters and stuff like that, and the coconut oils to make them stick, and you're eating a lot of those, too many calories. I don't care how healthy they are for you, still a lot of heavy calories. So those things are the bars, the energy bars and stuff, are not to be used a lot, right? They're used to be used when you're traveling, when you're on the road and you're just like, you know that you're not going to be able to grab something healthy for a while. Then having those things on hand is totally fine. Or having the truffles. I make a recipe of truffles on YouTube and stuff. Those truffles, one or two in the evening, maybe, right? That is where it's at. Just because they're labeled healthy or we think they're healthy, and don't get caught up in those ads on Facebook that completely go on and on about all these recipes, the videos for all those recipes, and they look fantastic and delicious, but really, really pay attention. What's in it? Wow. About how many calories would that be? Wow, that'd be really heavy. That doesn't mean you should eat a lot of it, right? What else do we have? Gluten-free things. So now I'm gluten-free because my stomach does not like gluten. So when I don't eat a gluten-free bagel very often, like it may be once a month. Yeah, like things like that. So gluten-free does not mean healthy. Most of the gluten-free stuff is full of preservatives. You guys read the packages. Unless it is something that's kept in the freezer section at a grocery store. So they know that if it's left out on a shelf, it's going to go moldy. So we put it in the freezer section. That way it's going to last. Maybe some of those, but only every once in a while, even if you do baking. So if you're in midlife and you are dealing with weight gain and weight problems and you don't want that weight anymore, it's okay that you're making your own like muffins or cookies and stuff, because I still do. But use whole ingredients. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. But I also want to say that, you know what, you really need to do, if you want to get rid of that weight for a while, you need to be strict with yourself and cut way back on those starchy carbs like muffins, cookies, scones, anything like that. Even if you buy them or make them gluten-free, doesn't mean they're healthy. It still means they're full of stuff that's not really nutritious, and it'll probably pack on the weight. Okay, so really be aware of that. If you are making your own gluten-free stuff, cookies, use whole oats, grind it into oat flour. Better yet, use steel cut oats, grind that into oat flour, because steel cut oats are less processed, still high in fiber, high in nutrients. To sweeten, use things like you can soak dates with hot water and blend it up to make like a date paste, and that'll really sweeten up your cookies or your muffins. You can add things like, you can do that with raisins too. You can soak them and blend them up, right? Add a bit of natural honey to it, things like that, instead of using the sugars. Coconut sugar is not as high glycemic index, so use a bit of that. But if you're reading a recipe, always cut way, way, way back on the sugar than what they recommend in a recipe, because they always add too much. So you can always, right, cut back and use different sources of sweeteners like I talked about. I often use a bit of stevia plus a little bit of honey and some dates. That way it gives a good flavor and it kind of mixes it up. So use whole ingredients when you are making your muffins, cookies, and stuff. Using cornstarch, using arrowroot powder, using even white rice flour. I make a couple things with that. All of those things have no nutrients, right? Even the gluten-free flour, there's zero nutrients in them. So you may be making something that's doesn't have gluten, but it's still not healthanhealthy for you. So it's only seen as like a treat every once in a while. It is not food. Don't think of it as food, right? Don't think of it as food. Vegan meat. So if you're vegan or somebody you know is vegan, I'm not vegan, you can run into the trap of having the vegan meats and the vegan foods and the veganese and the vegan cheeses. Crap. Nothing but crap in that. So that's why I don't like people to get caught up in that whole, you can go to a vegan restaurant and get the faux chicken and the foam. I think I'd die if I had some of that. It has so many preservatives in it. So that's a problem, because they flavor it. They make it taste like the real thing. It's not the real thing. It's fake. So don't eat it. It's better to eat the real thing. It's better to eat like organically raised beef, whatever, ethically, I don't believe in that, but it's whatever. I say eat the real stuff. Don't buy the fake stuff. That's why I don't preach vegan stuff, especially the veganese and stuff. That's just horrible. Use cashew cheese and cashew sauces. That's why I like raw food recipes made from nuts and seeds, because they're real, right? Okay, what else do we have? Light. I think I already talked about it. Don't get caught up in the light, in the no sugar, in the sugar-free and all of that, because it just probably means crap. Real coconut sugar, if you're making your own too, is way better than like aspartame or some fake sugar. There's so many fake sugars out there that they make seem like it's healthy and all natural, but even if it's from a natural source, the way they've chemically fixed it and altered it, it's not good for your body anymore. Your body can't even recognize it as real food, so it's not going to digest it. And you got to remember that your body's looking for food, real food. When it's been so altered, it doesn't see it as food. It can't metabolize it. It can't deal with it. So what does it do? It stores it. And where does it store it? In fat and tissue. Your body, if it can't detoxify it fast enough from the toxins you're taking in, it's going to store it in fat. So you're not going to be able to lose fat. You're going to gain weight because it needs more weight to store the more toxins you keep bringing into your body. Canned food. We're going to be big on canned food. Pickles, Bix pickles. Oh, go try to buy a thing of pickles that doesn't have preservatives in it. I know, crazy. The stupid thing is that there should never be preservatives in pickled or canned stuff, because that is what preserved it, right? That's what's supposed to be the preserving process. But nowadays, they just don't make things that way. It's all about profit, remember? It's all about doing things fast. It's all about automizing things. It's all about the big plants where they produce and can things. So like Bix pickles is horrible. I can't buy one thing. I think the only pickles I can buy off a shelf because of no preservatives are like some German ones. The Europeans have totally different rules. So look at your pickles. Look at olives in cans and olives in jars. Can't buy any of those. I only buy them at the deli section. So there's things that it's so surprising where that has preservatives, even organic canned foods and soups. Really watch this, read the label, because what it means is it's organically grown. So let's say the tomatoes or the beans are organic, but when they go to can them or put them in a jar or something, then they add preservatives to them. So that's kind of like, makes you think, right? That's just what they do it's just because of our laws saying that they're so afraid that some bacteria is going to grow, it's going to harm someone. So they put in all this shit that is going to harm you anyways. It doesn't even make sense. Our bodies are so not used to bacteria now that people have no immune systems. Okay, natural flavor, I talked about that. Natural flavor does not mean, it could mean it's natural. So there's things in this world, I mean, just think of all the poisonous plants out there. They're all natural. They're 100% natural, but it doesn't mean you're supposed to eat them, right? So watch for that. And natural flavor also in protein powders is a big one. So those are things you think would be healthy, right? So in protein powders, what else would they be in? Anyways, I can't think right now. They often say natural flavor, especially if it's flavored chocolate, vanilla, or whatever. It means it tastes like the natural product would. So it's natural flavor. It's supposed to taste like natural chocolate, but it's not natural flavor. It's not anything that's, if it was, they'd put in, the ingredient would be chocolate or cocoa powder. But there isn't any. It's like natural chocolate flavor or natural vanilla flavor. Why don't you just put it in vanilla? So watch that very carefully. And same with natural preservatives. That's another one for sure. Natural preservatives, right? A big one, spices with little asterisks. That could be MSG. It could be seasoning salt, which is MSG. So spices in anything, when it doesn't label the exact spices like cumin, coriander, all those things, if it labels that as preservatives, that's probably MSG or some form of it, right? They now just can label it as spices. And that's in anything that's flavored out there, especially any organic stuff can be that way too. Sauerkraut even, I had a really hard time when I would buy sauerkraut, finding sauerkraut without crap in it. So these things that it's just, we're unaware of, and you go, oh my God, really? Yes, those are the things that are still problematic. And it's so frustrating when we see things even in a health food store, a lot of things in a health food store are not healthy, that would appear that they are healthy for us. So once again, the bars, the power bars, the energy bars, all of those, really just in limited quantities. Don't rely on those for meals. Protein powder is a big one, I said. This one is, I know it's backwards. This one is unflavored sprouted protein powder that I found that's really clean. It's non-GMO, it's organic. It's really good price because there's so much crap out there, so really watch out. All rice cakes. Let's talk about rice cakes. Here's a good brand, Lindrum or whatever. These are tamari and seaweed. I know, they're really good. Rice cakes, the flavored rice cakes, all preservatives. Crackers. Crackers are some of the worst things that are full of preservatives. Cereal, really bad. And cereals, lots of good cereals. If you still consume any kind of cereal from a box, from a package or whatever, it's not really good. It really has no nutrients. So don't think of it as you're eating it for nutrients because there's no nutrients. So if you're eating any of that stuff, it can't be counted as food. Especially if you're eating it for breakfast, it's not food. So your body's not being fed. If it is a lot of the big Kellogg's and all that cereals, it probably contains a lot of colorings, preservatives, sugars, things that actually have a negative impact on your health. Now, I want you to even look at, even if it's a box of organic, whatever cereal from a health food store, read the ingredients. Read the ingredients. Often they're also cereals are highly processed. Very highly processed. So even if there's just nothing left in them. They add maybe enriched, they add certain vitamins and stuff, but it's just a synthetic form of those vitamins. It's not really doing you any good. The best thing you can do for your body is have real food. That's why I preach smoothies, right? Smoothies. Chia gel. Now I just made some chia gel. I have this a lot. It's just chia seeds mixed with water. However you can get this into your day, add as much as you can. You can add it here. This is what I do for my mornings. This is blueberries, almond milk, and chia gel. And then I make my own granola. I don't have this all the time. Just I make my own granola, so I'll add some granola to this. Otherwise, I usually just have chia gel with chopped grapefruit, orange maybe, chia gel blueberries, chia gel and pomegranate seeds. That is kind of like my mid-morning after my smoothie that I feel a little hungry. And yes, you can add some whole oats to that are just raw. It's muesli. You can add some nuts and seeds to that too that are just raw, not processed, not cooked. That's a good way to get some more nutrients into your day. Now let's talk about some of the healthy foods, right? I have one here that's soaked. This is soaked cami seaweed. Now it's not for everybody. This is soaked here. I'm going to get the package and show you guys the package that I have. And okay, I'm back. This is now, there's so many different kinds of wakame. So seaweed is one of the most healthiest foods on the planet. This is the package I get here in Nanaimo. This says wakame, it's backwards, I know. And it's cut, and I'll show you what it's like when it's dried. So it just looks like that. It's really tiny. A tablespoon of this will make about a cup or more of, because it swells up like crazy. Minerals, lots and lots of minerals. Just got to do something here. It contains a ton of minerals and trace minerals. Chlorophyll, iron. Yeah, just wait. Something for your thyroid. You know, I'm gone blank for a minute. Really good. Darn. Okay, really good if you have any thyroid issues, and I do. So seaweed, get lots of that in. I soak it, drain it, rinse it really well, and then I squeeze it to get all the excess moisture out and keep it in the strainer for a little bit to dry out a bit because it's really wet and slippery, right? And then it dries out a little bit, then it's like this, and I add it to salads. I love, love, love it in my salads. I love it raw, just eating it like this. So when you rinse it, you get rid of some of the salty taste. But wakame doesn't really, this wakame doesn't really have a really strong salty taste. It's not really fishy either. It's a really good mild one, buying it just like this and then soaking it. You can add it into soups. You can, after the soup's cooked and you're about to eat it, then add in some. I love it in my rice noodle soup. I love it in rice noodle. When I make a salad and I add a few rice noodles. Now, rice noodles do not have nutrients in them. I just like adding them for the texture and for something different. So when I make a rice noodle salad or have a rice noodle soup, I also load it up with a ton of veggies because and the seaweed, because that is where the nutrients is. That is what it's all about, right? So I highly encourage you to add some seaweed. I also have some dulse here. Now, dulse, this is the package it comes in. You can buy it at a health food store and try to get some that's soft. When you feel it, it's soft because it does dry out. Here is some dulse. This is what it looks like. Now, this is super salty. You rip it apart, put it in your salad, mix it with rice, really good mix with rice, really good mix with veggies. Like, I love cooked broccoli and cauliflower with dulse on it. It's, oh, so good. Very salty though, but the nutrients in it, again, minerals, trace minerals, the chlorophyll, which is really good for your blood, cleansing your blood. Vitamin K for sure, iron, right? Really, really good for you. So seaweeds are an excellent way to add a huge amount of nutrition. Hemp seeds are another thing, right? And I talked about that. That is super easy in your smoothie, in your salads, on top of any type of steamed or cooked veggies. Of course, the super powders that I talk about all the time. This is another, this one is ashwagandha. Now, these are just, wheatgrass powder. I talk about these all the time. You guys know these. These are a super way of adding extra nutrition into your day. And that's, because we can't always eat super healthy, right? You're always on the go. So making sure that most of the food you're consuming in a day has some really healthy things in it. Even smoothies, 2 smoothies a day. Oh, what other foods do I want to talk about? Oh, the calories. Let's talk about the calories. If you guys have any questions, if anybody's on, and if you're watching this as a replay and you have questions about a food or something, please ask in the comments below because I will come back and answer them. Salt. Let's talk about salt for a minute. Himalayan salt. Himalayan salt, or a good Celtic sea salt, is definitely the salt to be using. And you don't have to be that scared of it. And what's interesting too is in the morning, I want you to have like the hot lemon water. You can also add some Himalayan salt to it, and that actually helps your body hold on to the water better, so stay more hydrated. And it has minerals. Himalayan salt and Celtic sea salt has a lot of good minerals because it comes from water, so the ocean. So the minerals are what our body seems to be really lacking now because our soil is so deficient in minerals. So finding ways to get minerals like the seaweed, like the Himalayan salt, like some of these powders that have a lot of minerals in them too, right? That's a great way to really feed and fuel our bodies. We just do not get enough minerals. And instead of taking fake supplements that are synthetic. So, it's like, oh yeah, the counting calories. Oh yeah, and I also want to talk about Juice Plus, just in a fast way, that this is a live product, and it just has fruits, vegetables, and greens that have been dried in their raw state, so they still contain all the live enzymes. They're in capsules, which are gel caps, veggie caps. So there you go. All you have to do is take, if you want something really fast and easy, you can travel with and take every day, that ensures you get a huge amount of servings of vegetables, greens, and fruits. Look up something like Juice Plus. You can ask me about it too. So easy. Okay, that is for the people who want all their healthy food in capsules. That'll do it. But let's talk about calories. So calories. Why I don't get people to count calories. And you know, you hear calories in, calories out. It's all about calories when you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to do something. And that's in a way okay. But a handful of sugar is sure hell different than a handful of broccoli. I don't care if it weighs the same. I don't care if it's 1 cup, 1 cup. We're talking what nutrients are in it. Also calories. You know, 2 tablespoons, what is that in calories of sugar? Well, what the hell does it matter? Because it's not good for you. So why worry about counting points, counting calories, if what you're eating is crap? Terrible for your body. So the Weight Watchers, the other things that make you, how much hemp seeds should put in my juice? I'd probably in your smoothie. Green juice wouldn't taste like a baby shot. It doesn't matter. You can put as much as you want. And that's the thing about real live food, real food that's real good food, right? You can eat as much of it as you want. It's not going to harm you. It's real food. When you get to synthetic supplements, when you get to, well, you know, breads and stuff, you got to watch. So you wouldn't have to watch like how much chia gel should you have in a day. If you have too much chia gel, you'll probably get diarrhea, but it's totally healthy for you and it's totally fine. Same with wheatgrass powder, something like this, unless you are on blood thinners because of the vitamin K. So if you're on blood thinners, you really have to watch the dark green powders and the dark green. Why? Veggies, because they thin your blood. So the thing is, doesn't it make sense that if you get off, I don't want to say this, but if you get off blood thinners, but consume way more dark green vegetables, wouldn't those naturally thin your blood slightly? Yeah, but they give you blood thinners and tell you to stay away from the greens and vegetables. And those are the foods that contain all the nutrients. That's what makes me so mad. So not only are you taking drugs that make you sicker and more of an acidic body, you're also depleting your body because you're being told not to consume greens or dark greens. Crazy. Yeah, Debbie, you can have as much hemp seeds, it doesn't matter. It will change the flavor of your smoothie for sure. If you make smoothies and they sit for a full day, I find hemp seeds make it taste a little sour. I do not like hemp seeds in my smoothie if it has to sit. I will only drink the smoothie right away. But hemp seeds, you can sprinkle it on everything. Really, you know, they are heavier in fat. Absolutely, that means calories, right? But they are so dense with nutrition, so dense that what will happen is your body will get full faster. So it's not like you're going to overeat because you will actually feel physically fuller. So when you eat fat, your body digests it faster, slower, plus it fills you up faster. So like an avocado. If you're having a salad without an avocado and having a salad with an avocado, you would notice you're full faster with the avocado and the salad. Same with if you've added nuts and seeds to the salad. So that again, about counting calories. If you eat foods that are really healthy for you and they contain, like the hemp seeds, the chia gel, the avocados, which may be higher in fat, but they also contain the nutrients your body needs, the phytochemicals, the antioxidants, all the vitamins, the minerals, the trace minerals, the essential fatty acids. They contain those, and those are the exact foods your cells need. So when your cells receive that food, you know, your body, it'll say, oh, wow, you fed me. I'm full. Thank you. That was great. And you'll be full. But when we consume foods like pastas and scones and muffins made with cheap flours and stuff, it's no food for our body. So even though we're eating bulk, we're eating a lot, our body doesn't, it's counting, right? Like our body does the counting for us. And it'll go, cha-ching, I'm full, you gave me all the nutrients. But if you feed it stuff with no nutrients, it's going to just keep waiting for the nutrients to come in. It's never going to feel satisfied. It's never going to feel full. And it's actually because of the whole, I'm not going into the chemistry, but because you're eating the white flours, the white stuff, it's, you know, has to do with blood sugar levels. So it's going to signal you are more hungry. It's going to bring more cravings to you by eating that crap. So when you eat nutrient-dense foods like hemp seeds, like chia gel, and by the way, not many people know that chia gel is really high in calcium. So another bok choy is really high in calcium. Cabbage is really high in calcium. Tahini is really high in calcium. So I know this whole thing about women, you know, getting calcium, right? We've got to remember that there's a lot of foods that are high in calcium, like real foods. So just Google some of those, because I don't want to miss any. Google some of those and start eating more of those foods. And like I said, chia gel is one of them. They may not list that, but chia gel is one of them. Bok choy, all the cabbage family, and the greens. The greens are good for calcium too. So that's why consuming more of those in a day really helps to feed and fuel your body. Your body gets the nutrients it needs. So yeah, hemp seeds doesn't matter. You'll probably be full. So when your body, yeah, it's like when you consume a lot of the good things, all of a sudden you're bringing in a lot of good things in your diet. You will find that you may not be eating as big a portions of things. And that can kind of worry people. They'll be like, oh my God, am I getting enough nutrients? I'm not eating enough. Because when people look at how much I eat in a day, it's really like, I'll go through some days, some days it's like, wow, I barely ate anything. But I've become so accustomed to listening to my body. And there's sometimes when I will just take tablespoons of chia gel because I'm in a hurry and I just want something, I need something in my body, and smoothies and chia gel. And I'll just chew on some wakame, or I'll have some greens with me at Farmer's Market. I love their mixed salad greens. I could just eat those like candy, right? But it's just because I know those are the foods that fuel me and feed me. So even when I'm in a hurry, I will go and grab the really nutrient-dense, healthy foods. And that at least is feeding my body. So let's say tonight we're going out for dinner. I don't think I'll have French fries tonight though, but sometimes I do, a beer and French fries. So when I go out and I'm having a beer and French fries at night, what do I do during the day? I drink a lot of smoothies, maybe 2 smoothies, a big salad. That's it. I might have just sauteed greens. I may have no food and just smoothies and chia gel and berries that day, because knowing when I go out, I'm going to eat stuff that's not food. I'm going to eat stuff that's going to be calorie dense probably, but no nutrition. So then I balance it kind of with eating high nutrient foods during the day. And I'm going to be doing a video about eating over the holidays too, and giving you a lot of tips on what you can do for that. But basically it's really about eating the foods that truly nourish your body. That way your body gets what it needs. It stops signaling I'm hungry. So calories, your body, every single woman who's gone through my program has never come back and said, oh my God, I still was craving bread. Oh my God, I ate way too much. I think I'm gaining weight. Not one. When you change what you eat and you begin to bring in more of the healthy foods and actually love the recipes, love the food you're eating, because you really do. When you learn how to prepare healthy food in ways that taste absolutely delicious, you love it. There's no reason to grab the other crap. But, so in that case, you're feeding and fueling your body right. Your body stops signaling hunger. You don't have as many cravings. Yes, if something emotional comes up in your life, you may still tend to grab those things that you do when you get emotional, but that's a whole other thing, right? That's an emotional thing. That's not really your body needing nutrients, okay? So that's a different topic. So the calories, God. So that's what makes the difference, is when you consume calories that contain the exact nutrients your body needs, that's when everything works, because that's the way your body was designed to work. We were designed to eat these foods. Now, I know I don't talk about meats, because if you want to find out more about meat, if you're wondering, okay, should I continue eating meat? A great book for you is the China Study. I highly recommend you read the China Study. You could also look at the book Foods by Joel Fuhrman. I talk about it. I'll put it in a comment, because he quotes the China Study. The China Study is a study, so you're going to be going through much data and research. If you like that, great. Of course, it has a story. It has a lot of things in it. I read it. It's excellent, but it really will give you a clear understanding and scientific evidence and studies about meat. Go ahead, read it. Highly recommend it. I don't say you shouldn't eat meat. Everybody's got to do what's right for their body and what they want to do, and that's what's going to be successful. When you try to do something you're resistant with, that you don't agree with, that your body fights you every inch of the way, then you're never going to be successful, right? So when people start diets and they need to count the calories, they need to weigh their food, they need to measure things out, that may be good for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month even, but they're not going to sustain it because it's too much damn work. I wouldn't want to do that. I would never want to do that, right? It's too much damn work. Who's going to stick to that? It's craziness. And half the time what they're measuring, weighing, or counting points for is shit food. It's not even food. Like Weight Watchers, you can have, anyways, I still agree with having treats every once in a while, but the whole thing about in a day have this many points, it doesn't matter what it consists of as long as you have this many points. Well, that doesn't even make sense. You could have 3 donuts in the whole day. You're still under your points, and that's not good for you, right? That's why I don't believe in stuff like that. But does anybody have any other questions? I know I'm babbling a lot, but if you have any questions, post them below and I will get back to you. I want to make sure I cover everything. So I guess what I wanted to say was that we do know the foods that are right for you. You do know. Everybody does know. It's just sometimes there's resistance or worry that, are you getting enough nutrients? Am I getting enough? Or often you go into, am I getting too much? Am I eating too much? Storage on my phone's almost gone. Am I eating too much? So portion size, let's go into that. Portion size. I'm going to get some bowls for you, show you something. Okay, so this is a great topic. Now, the best thing you can do to control your food, if you're worried you're going to be eating too much, is start with smaller plates and smaller bowls. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have a second bowl. The thing is that if you take a big plate and if you take a big bowl, you're going to fill it with more stuff. They've proven that. They've done many studies on that. So I love beautiful ceramic bowls. Look at how small this one is. That's my soup bowl, you guys. That's how big it is. It's not big. Now, can I have more than one of these bowls? Yes. But I start with just this. Here's another one. It's very shallow. It's a beautiful ceramic bowl, see? Beautiful. Now, if I'm making a stir fry, rice, and this is the bowl too. I'll use something like this. That's what I'll have it in. Start with the smaller bowl, smaller plate. Make them beautiful. Make it a whole beautiful thing. That's what I like to do. This is another bowl I may use for soup or for salad. It's not very big, but it's kind of pretty. I like the color. So that's another one I may use for portion size. So I don't worry about portion size. I start with less than if I feel. Once I finish eating, I will go, do I feel full? Like, do I need more? I just sit for a couple seconds and just think about it. And then go, I think I'm okay. Or I will go grab more. Now, if you're consuming salad that has nothing but vegetables in it and stuff, you can eat a whole lot of this and not worry about gaining any weight. So salads are kind of free food. And some more free food is celery, cucumbers, which are all vegetables, of course, romaine lettuce. Those things are like no calories. And so eat as much as you want of those, as much as you want, right? Anytime, though, you are consuming any type of raw fruits or vegetables, especially raw vegetables or greens. The amount is unlimited. There is no amount. You will get full. You will get sick of chewing. Eat as much as you want. You will not. They're totally fine for you, right? Sprouts. I want to talk about sprouts. I'm going to try to carry. I'll just take one level, 2 levels. Okay. This is just 2 levels of our sprouter. My boyfriend does this, so I'm lucky. These are some sprouts. These ones are done. So we have a sprouting machine. There's layers, and it's super easy. Just pour water in it, and etc. Rinse it, and super easy. But anyways, sprouts are some of the most nutrient-dense food on the entire planet. They are so small, but yet pack like 10 to 20 times nutrients. So if you have broccoli sprouts, it's like all of this broccoli eaten raw would be like just a little handful of broccoli sprouts. Just a little handful of broccoli sprouts would be like consuming a huge amount of actual grown raw broccoli. And they're also higher in enzymes, so there's way more enzymes in them. That helps you digest your food. We all need enzymes for that. So bioavailable. The protein content is higher in sprouts. So also you're getting more of the protein. So sprouts are a fantastic thing to add. And especially in the winter when we don't get enough garden stuff. You can add sprouts when you're about to eat your soup. Throw sprouts on top of your soup. They won't. Remember, when you heat things up, you lose the nutrients. So if you were to heat sprouts, you would just kill them. So you want to add them right at the very end. Add sprouts to your salads. Add sprouts to everything, your smoothies. Anything you can imagine, add sprouts to, and you are getting a huge punch in minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients. Woo! Antioxidants like crazy in this, and protein and enzymes. One of the healthiest things you can add to your diet is sprouts. And I have videos on YouTube about sprouting with a jar, a mason jar. You can check that out. There's tons on there. And super, that's why I started. And then he got that. So yeah, look at your portion size. Use small, pretty bowls. Makes a big difference. Start with less. Stop and ask yourself. I usually put a tablespoon. A tablespoon of what, Michelle? Sprouts, or what are you talking about? Not sure what you mean, Michelle. A tablespoon of what? But, oh, if you're just jumping on. Yeah, Michelle, what did you mean when I usually put a tablespoon of what, sprouts? Oh, hey, Melissa. Do you have any questions? Yeah, Melissa, you got to start sprouting. Hemp seeds. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, hemp seeds in your smoothie. That's great too. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter how much you use. And hemp seeds are excellent on top of like after you saute or steam your broccoli and cauliflower too, right? So remember, when you are using vegetables, grains, or anything, and you cook them above a certain temperature, they are losing some of their nutrients. Now, I love cooked and steamed veggies and all that, cooked everything. But just notice that when you do cook them, they do lose some of their vitamin C, all the vitamins and minerals. When you eat them raw, they are completely raw in their full state. You get all the enzymes, you get all the nutrients, okay? So that's an important thing just to remember, so that you can remember, even in the winter, to have salads, even in the winter, to have some raw cut up veggies and stuff. Really get those in, because those are where the true nutrients are. Start adding things like sprouts. Start adding things like wakame and certain seaweeds. Even if you just start with some dulse at first, chop that up in your salad. The more you consume things, the more you get used to the flavor, and then the more you kind of crave them, because your body's really intelligent. When you start eating foods that is really good for it, it is surprising, it will crave them. And even if that seems impossible, it's absolutely true, because your body's going, oh my God, I want that, more of that. That made me feel so good inside. Oh, I use that to help me heal. That helped, boost my metabolism, and help to boost my immune system. So your body's going to start to crave more of that. So get rid of some of the fake stuff. Go into your pantry and your fridge and your freezer and everything, and start reading all the ingredients. Now, if you're also even salsa, even tortilla chips, only buy the organic, non-GMO corn ones, no flavors, because they all have preservatives. So these are all things you want to do if you want a healthy body, if you want to help your body naturally detoxify, if you want to stop the weight gain and lose the weight gain. That is what's going to work. if you continue to eat some of the foods with the preservatives and not pay attention, if you consume more of the starches like the breads and the scones and the muffins, even if you make them yourself, you will hold on to weight longer. That's just the way reality that it is. If you continue with wheat, gluten, and dairy, more acidic for your body. That means aches, pains, faster oxidization, which means you actually age faster, more wrinkles, more skin problems. Yeah, aches and pains, inflammation within the body. Acidic foods cause that. So you really want to decrease those. Wheat, most people have wheat sensitivities. Gluten, most people do. The way our gluten is produced now, the way our breads and stuff, if you go to Europe, you may be fine. Here, it's devastating and horrible. So try to stay away from those things. They really can affect your digestive system. Your digestive system is your immune system. You need to be able to absorb nutrients through your digestive system. If it is sick in any way, unhealthy your digestive system, then you're not going to be able to absorb nutrients, so therefore you're not getting the nutrients. It can actually almost end up being poisonous to you. You can look up leaky gut syndrome, leaky gut. You can look up autoimmune diseases and stuff. There's so many things that can be caused when we eat the wrong types of food. They're happening in the background even if we don't realize it. They affect our gut to the point where we get very sick. So probiotics, digestive enzymes. If you like some kind of yogurt, you still insist on that, try to go for a kefir, K-E-F-I-R, things like that. Oh, also be aware of if you get yogurt, there's coconut yogurt. They all can, I don't think I could find any coconut yogurt out there that doesn't have preservatives in it. Because they don't really make it from fresh young coconut. I don't know what the hell they make it from or how processed it is, but yeah, so just really learn to read the labels. Remember pickles, any sauces, any salad dressings, all of that. It can seem overwhelming, but the problem is that it's just adding to the toxicity of your body. Is there a food that causes inflammation? I have a need that will not. Yeah, there's lots of foods that cause inflammation. Leslie, so those would be acidic foods, which include flours, any type of flours, any type of starches. So a lot of gluten-free foods contain cornstarch, potato starch, arrowroot powder. That's one thing about gluten-free stuff, unless they're made like you make them yourself with just oats, right? So those are highly starchy and acidic. Foods like alcohol, sugar, meat. Meat is very acidic to the body. There's some meat, I think organ meats, there's certain things that aren't as bad, right? But how many of us get organic, grass-fed, have animals that can give us that type of organ meat now, very rare. And they actually used to eat a lot of organ stuff raw when it was first killed. So we don't do that anymore. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, like foods like that, just the preserved food, junk food, all preserved food, all packaged food, flours, spaghetti, pastas, all of that is acidic, and that causes inflammation, worsens the inflammation within the body. Over-the-counter drugs, any type of drugs you're prescribed by your doctor are highly acidic because they're chemicals. They're really bad for our body. What else? Anybody else can help her with what are acidic foods that cause inflammation? Coffee, tea, black tea. So milk, any dairy. Dairy is highly acidic, actually. So with those things, Leslie, you want to decrease them. That's basically all. You don't need to give everything up. You want to decrease them. But for sure, read all labels, because any chemicals and preservatives will be like poison to your body. So that's going to activate the inflammation process too. When your body's aggravated, you may have an allergic or sensitivity. So if somebody is eating gluten and wheat, but saying, well, I think I'm okay, I've eaten it for years, but they don't realize that it's causing histamine levels to rise in your body, you have an allergic reaction, but you're so unaware of it, that can aggravate and cause the toxicity and cause the inflammation within the body too. So really trying to eat clean for a while. Leslie, what I suggest is eating really strict and really clean. You can try my 14-day clean eating cleanse program. It's on my website because that's 2 weeks. You get the recipes, you get all that for 2 weeks of eating really clean. And then if you feel better after that, you know that something you're normally eating is really aggravating the inflammation in your body. So you could try something like, it's worth a try, right? It's totally worth a try. And then when you get off the really clean eating for 2 weeks, then it's more about adjusting things, right? Like still eating clean, but watching how you eat the other things, like watching how much of this and that you eat and how it affects your body. So it's just a process of elimination and then learning what really does cause the aggravation. But definitely you can also Google acidic versus alkaline foods and get a really good idea. Now, oats are acidic. There's some nuts and seeds that are acidic, but they are less acidic than the alcohol, than the sugar, than the whatever, right? That's all. I still drink wine. I still have a beer every once in a while. I still have French fries every once in a while. But mostly I include really high alkaline foods, which offset the acidity. So high alkaline foods decrease the inflammation in your body, Leslie. So look up high alkaline foods. I'll put a post up later about the high alkaline foods too. And those are the greens, the vegetables, some of the fruits, things like broccoli, things like kale, things like spinach. Wheatgrass powder for sure can help decrease the inflammation within your body. Some of the algae like chlorella and spirulina really help to decrease because they're high alkaline. They're high alkaline, so they give your body a lot of minerals. Help to offset the acidity in your body. Your body needs more minerals. So food that's high in minerals, again, seaweeds, the dulse, the wakame, the seaweeds. And fast and easy, taking Juice Plus, taking capsules every day that are just full of the nutrients. I had pizza. Let's see what this is. I had pizza and a beer last week and wanted to die. Oh, I know. Isn't it horrible? I'm so with you. I love having pizza and beer. I have to have gluten-free, and then I have to have no cheese, and I can only get a few goat cheese or feta added onto it. So that's another thing. If you go for pizza, you can have a gluten-free crust, which doesn't mean it's healthy, but you say no mozzarella. Do you have goat cheese? Can you add just a little bit of goat cheese on it? And then the pizza's full of veggies, very little cheese, a really good marinara sauce if they have it. They make their own. And gluten-free crust. That's about as close as you can get to have pizza. Yeah. And I have that, I don't know, once every 4, 5, 6 months. I don't even know. Not very often. But I have beer, yeah, every once in a while. Not good on my gut right now. So beer once every 2, 3 weeks maybe I have, like very little right now. But it can be brutal. So you definitely, Leslie, you definitely have sensitivities to that. To the cheese, to the wheat, to the gluten, because pizza dough is extremely high in gluten, That's what gives it its elasticity. So they can stretch it like crazy because that's what the gluten does. Bagels, really high in gluten. Bagels are really high in gluten. And then the cheeses. So, if you have anything with cheese, if you want to go and have salad with cheese or whatever, a little bit of goat cheese is probably way better. Or a little bit of feta, but really no mozzarella, none of that other crap for a while. Get rid of that. It's really highly acidic. And yeah. So that is that. Wow, let's see what time it is. Oh my God, I got to go. I have a call. I'm supposed to be on a call with a client. Okay, guys, it was so wonderful doing this. Post your more questions below. I will answer them. And also if you want me to do another, tomorrow I want to do another training. So what do you want me to talk about tomorrow? And if I didn't cover something today, let me know and I will cover it, okay? Thanks for watching, you guys. I so appreciate you. Take care. Bye.